In 1980, British television introduced a police drama that contained a simple but quietly significant difference. The officer running the police station was a woman. Today, that premise might seem entirely unremarkable, but when the series first appeared, it represented a subtle shift in how authority was portrayed on British television. The programme was Juliet Bravo. Its most interesting achievement was not that it announced this change loudly, but that it treated it as normal. Instead of presenting a female police inspector as a novelty or a special case, the series built an entire police drama around the idea that she was simply the person in charge. In doing so, Juliet Bravo quietly normalised a form of authority that television had rarely shown before. The series was set in the fictional Lancashire town of Hartley, a place shaped by the rhythms of ordinary provincial life. Factories, terraced houses, shops, and quiet residential streets formed the background of this drama. This was not a world defined by spectacular crimes or elaborate investigations. Instead, the programme focused on the everyday responsibilities of policing a community. Domestic disputes, petty theft, missing persons, occasional serious incidents that disrupted the calm of the town. By concentrating on these smaller events, the series created a picture of policing that felt grounded and recognisable. The police station itself became the centre of this world. Officers moved in and out throughout the day, responding to calls, writing reports, and dealing with the practical complications of maintaining order in a community where everyone knew each other. And at the centre of that station stood Inspector Jean Darblay. Inspector Darblay was played with calm authority by Stephanie Turner. From the moment she arrives in Hartley, the series establishes her position clearly. She is responsible for the station and the officers working within it. What makes the character interesting is the way the programme handles this authority. Darblay is not portrayed as extraordinary or symbolic. She is not presented as a female officer in contrast to her male colleagues. Instead, she is simply the inspector. The drama revolves around the responsibilities that come with that role. She must organise her officers, deal with the public, and make difficult decisions about how the law should be applied. Occasionally, the series acknowledges that some people are not used to seeing a woman in command, but those moments are treated as minor obstacles rather than the defining theme of the drama. The real focus remains on the practical exercise of leadership. In the final year of the series, another inspector would take charge of the station. Kate Longton, played by Anna Carteret, continued the idea of a woman leading the Hartley police station, extending the programme's portrayal of female authority within the familiar structure of the police drama. This approach shaped the tone of the entire programme. Because the central authority of the station was quietly accepted, the drama could concentrate on the realities of everyday policing. Many episodes revolved around incidents that might appear small compared with the spectacular crimes often shown in police dramas. A disagreement between neighbours, a troubled teenager, a family conflict that escalates beyond control. These situations allowed the programme to explore the social fabric of Hartley. Policing was shown not simply as crime detection, but as a form of community management. Officers needed to understand the role they served and apply judgement as well as authority. Inspector Darblay therefore functioned as both administrator and mediator. She had to command respect within the station while also maintaining the trust of the town outside it. The internal dynamics of the police station formed another important part of the series. The officers working under Darblay brought different personalities and expectations to the job. Some accepted her authority immediately, others required time to adjust to the new leadership structure. Over time, the station developed its own rhythm. Morning briefings organised the day, patrols moved through the town, reports were filed, and occasional tensions emerged between colleagues. This environment allowed the programme to explore the practical realities of teamwork inside a hierarchical organisation. Authority in the station was not simply a matter of rank. It had to be demonstrated through competence and consistency. Darblay gradually established that authority by doing the job effectively. In this respect, the series formed part of a longer tradition within British television. Earlier police dramas, such as Z-Cars, had already moved away from glamorous depictions of policing towards something more grounded and procedural. Juliet Bravo continued that tradition. But by placing a woman in charge of the station, it also reflected changes taking place within British society itself. Women had been entering policing in increasing numbers during the preceding decades, and the programme acknowledged that shift. Crucially, it did so without turning the change into spectacle. The presence of Inspector Darblay was not treated as an experiment. It was simply part of the world the series presented. The setting of Hartley reinforced this sense of realism. The town was neither an anonymous city nor a picturesque village. It resembled the kind of medium-sized industrial town that formed the backbone of much of Britain. Because the environment felt familiar, the events of each episode carried a sense of authenticity. Viewers recognised the streets, the houses, and the social tensions that appeared in the stories. Hartley gradually became a television world that audiences could revisit each week. And at the centre of that world stood the police station, where the routines of law enforcement continued under steady leadership. The tone of the series remained deliberately measured. Action sequences were rare. Instead, the tension of the drama usually emerged from conversations, decisions, and the consequences of those decisions. This slower pace allowed characters to develop gradually across the run of the series. Viewers became familiar not only with Darblay herself, but with the officers working around her and the community they served. That sense of returning to a consistent environment is one of the most defining strengths of television drama. By the time the series concluded in 1985, Juliet Bravo had established itself as one of the most distinctive police dramas of its era. Its significance lies not in dramatic spectacle, but in perspective. Within the familiar structure of the police series, it quietly altered the centre of authority. The person organising investigations, directing officers, and maintaining discipline in the station was no longer automatically male. And because the programme treated that fact as entirely normal, it allowed audiences to accept the change almost without noticing. In the end, that may be the most interesting achievement of Juliet Bravo. It did not present itself as a groundbreaking programme. Instead, it simply portrayed a police station run by a competent inspector who happened to be a woman. Through the routines of Hartley Police Station, the series reflected a society gradually adjusting to new expectations about authority and leadership. And by presenting that change within the familiar structure of a weekly drama, British television quietly expanded the kinds of stories it could tell. Thank you very much for listening. I do appreciate it, and I will be back on another day with another television show. Bye.